All right. Good morning, everyone. We're Team Level Up. Here are our instructors, our team members. Okay, so Level Up is a faculty pitch project to support the upcoming level design course starting fall 2023. And we all know that Unreal became one of the industry standard, but it's not really beginner friendly. And it could be quite intimidating for people who first start learning it. And on the market right now, there's a lack of good tools for students. They're not really catered for student users or practice purposes. So our goal for this project is to build an Unreal Engine plugin that serves beginner users and students who want to practice their level design skills. And before we start tackling this big body of tasks, there's some questions need to be answered, such as what are the workflow in AAA pipeline? What kind of tools do level designers need? How do we help designers to speed up the layout process? What kind of assets are good for level design? How do we let users focus on designing instead of struggling with the engine? And how do we simulate the given condition in a bigger production? And to better answer these questions, we started with some research first.
So we start with the research with the level designer first. So we received 32 survey from the survey data, and 80% of them are professional level designer, and we divided them on the related skill sets, for instance, the programming skills and art skill that can support their level design skill. And also we have a database about most used module in level editor. And here's our outcome that the most used building module will be the terrains and assets, texture and lighting, and the most used custom module that they need to make themselves in the engine will be the level logic module, triggers, function module, properties like destroyable or movable, and also the movement module like the linear and circular movement. So we also connect with experts such as level designer and educator to have like different aspects of our project insights. So the first three of this is the level designer in the game company that we want to know like how level designers think and how they use their professional level editor in their workflow. And for the right side is the professor of teaching the game. So we want to have an insight from the educator aspects on how to educate students to use the level editor much well and use it as their companion with the level design. So, and also we, based on the survey and the expert insights, we design our own character because the default character in Unreal Engine cannot support our genre of the level design, the parkour game, or like the non-combat traversal gameplay. So we design our character to have a pole, and this pole can support it to do the difference jump and also the traversal behavior and also the interactable actions. So why not we use the hook or boomerang or other props because they are all like single-purpose prop and cannot be used in a wide variety of the gameplay-based level design.
So in addition to the character design and the survey from the professional level designers, we also want to think and act like a level designer. And our target users are the students who are not familiar with the level design and they have interest to the level design. So we made some levels by ourselves and want to figure out what features they want. So we did a design jam and we tried to add some features of the traversal games and our unique character features in our designs. And finally, we came up with 3 level designs. And our goal is to extract the features from the design and the gameplay level to our toolkit. And we found out that the playable level is very useful for programmers to define which variables should expose to the level designers, and also it will helpful for the level designers to custom their levels. And when we built the level in the UE5 engine, we realized that it really takes a huge amount of time on the things and other other than design. For example, if they want to build some features, they need to write some code and build a model by themselves. And those times should be better to spend on designing and iterating itself. So we're gonna make some pre-made features for them and help them save time and more focused on design itself. So we try to close the gap between the professional level designers and the entry-level designers. And we combine the ideas we got from them and have the following features. The first thing is that the features they commonly used when they build a level. And the second feature is that they want, but the features are not in the UE5. And the third features are our pre-made features they want. And finally, are the features that are easily combined with other features.
So here are some pre-made assets that we implemented. The first is level logic system. We think the level logic system is one of the core elements in the level design. So with our pre-made system, the level designers can, for example, add a checkpoint by just simply dragging and dropping the asset into the scene. And we also made a health system. Basically, it has a health bar for the character and a damage system that will manipulate all damage from the environment. This system can help the level designers control the difficulty of their levels. Event triggers is another key element in the level designs. We have made many functional assets like doors, buttons with event triggers embedded, but we also give the level designers the ability to create their own events by simply just changing some attributes. Interactable assets. To let the character fit with the level and let it use the pole, we have created some interactable assets. For example, the hanger will help the character jump over, for example, a hole on the ground, and this moving hanger will bring the character from point A to point B. So, and the level designer can also combine those assets to create some unique gameplay features they want. Animations, we think the default animation given by the Unreal 5 engine is not enough, especially for a AAA level standard. So we create some animations to let the character fit with the game environment. And those animations can also help enhance the player experience.
Okay, let's talk about art style. So after several research, we found a style called brutalism. And the reason why we use brutalism is it can be easily distinguished from other style. And the second, the assets of this style have a highly degree of uniformity, which greatly reduces the workflow for artists. And the third point is it's very suitable for a large number of building groups, which we want to do at the beginning of our semester. And here's our art assets, work in progress. As you can see, the diverse and interactable 3D assets. And we'll also offer several sample level to tell the entry-level designer how to build a level and how to use our assets. And here's our assets library. So maybe you want to know what's the difference between our assets with the normal model. So first one, we offer like functional assets, just as we mentioned before, the pole, the slider, and the direction assets, like styles, pipe, door, which can help designer to build a point from point A to point B and guide the player know how to play this level. And we also offer like the color codes. The blue means interactable, and the red is destructible. And here's our future plan. The first one is focused on improving and smoothing the animation, which is the most important thing. And the second one is adding more functional assets. And the third one is more instructive level templates and instructive models with shape language.
Okay, so now we encountered a new problem, which is the navigation problems. So as you can see in the left picture, this is our project structure after we made all those assets we mentioned above. So it's not really friendly for the beginner level designer to use. So we want to know how to make a new user interface to really will categorize all those assets we made in our engine. And also there are some assets, for example, character animations. The level designers don't care about those. So, and also we don't want them to edit those animations. So here's our solution. We developed a tool, so this tool has a really easy way to access, which is from the Unreal toolbar menu. So when you click the button on the toolbar menu, it will jump out user interface, and we will categorize all of those assets in our tools. And also in each tab, we have drop-down menus to secondary categorize our assets. But for now, we still have some issues. For example, how to make this tool more easily to use. For example, you can simply drag and drop the assets from the tools into the scene.
So to test the functionality of our toolkit, we have held another game jam last week. Basically, each member in our team will create a level in 4 hours using Unreal Engine, but this time with our toolkit. And here is a video of some of our level.
Okay, so this is our future timeline. You can tell from the orange color, so this will be our main forecast after the half. So basically, we're focusing on more playtest and iterations about our toolkit. And also, we will write some documentations to tell users how to use our tool. And finally, we would like to announce that we will hold a level design game jam before the end of the semester, and we welcome all the ETC students to join us, and also the students from CMU main campus. So this is basically the final big playtest for us to more polish our tool for the future production. Okay, and yeah, that's it. And finally, we would like to thank Dave, Heather, and Chris to help us to connect all those talented people in the industry. Thank you very much.
So is the course you're going to use, if the course is going to use your work, is that meant for non-Unreal programmers? And if so, are you going to test with non-Unreal programmers later this semester?
Yeah, so you don't require to have the knowledge of Unreal Engine, and we'll provide the basic intro tutorial, and also the documentation will be posted online.
So in your game jam, your level jam, April 8th, that's for non-Unreal people?
Yeah.
So I think they need to have some basic knowledge about game engine, so they can, for example, navigate in the scene, so something like that. So yeah, for example, they have the Unity user experience. It would be better to use our tool. Yeah.
Couple of quick questions. The animations, did you guys make them, or are they mixable?
We find them on the Mixamo, and we make some revise to fit our poll features.
It would have been nice to see that process a little more clearly, especially if you're using someone else's artwork. And then the other question was, what's the plan for evaluating this? And is there any plan to evaluate how effective the actual levels designed are, like how engaging and fun they are to play?
So we have standard to test if we are succeed in our tool making. So Heather have given us some assignment. For example, you need to build a scene like this type of scene in, for example, 1 hour. And if you can use our tool to make it come true, so if you can make a level in 1 hour using our tool, that's our success. Yeah. So that's how we measure our success.
I think our tool is to provide all the necessity for building a good level. It's not really to measure if the level is good or not. Essentially, we don't provide like a standard sheet for if a level is good or not. Like, we're not making a tool that judge that, basically.
Time for one more.
In your documentation, do you plan to include instructions for how to replace animations and artwork, or is that beyond the scope of what you guys are trying to do?
For the animation, it will be building, so you don't need to address your animation when you are building level. So we want you to really focus on your level design, so the animation will actually automatically be triggered when you are encounter some interactable objects. So that's our plan for our design. So there will not be like how to use animations documentations files. Yeah.
I mean, you can change the input mapping, like which button is for jump and which button is for sprint. But other than that, all the animations are embedded with the character.